Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome back to today's video. In today's video, we're getting into another operator guide. More and more operators are getting crossed off the list for my total operator thing. So in today's video, we're getting into Aruni. This is the newest operator to be added into Rainbow Six Siege. I kind of wanted just a little bit of time instead of instantly making a guide to actually get a proper knowledge of the operator instead of kind of rushing out a guide. I still don't really have probably the best knowledge that I can go out there, and I had someone ask me the other day if I could make more advanced guides. I don't really go for advanced guides in these videos. It's kind of just basics to help newer people and people trying to learn the operator get better. And if you are looking for more advanced guides, there is a YouTuber called 5050. You type in the letters 50 and then the word 50. He makes good operator guides there that are probably a lot more in-depth than mine. So if you're looking for an in-depth guide, that would be my recommendation there. But if you are looking for just something basic and to get started with, this is your video. Without further ado, let's get into the Aruni guide. So as always, we're going to start off with the weapon review, then we're going to move on to the gadget utilization and finish off with the operator strategies. So without further ado, let's get into the weapon review. She has access to 2 primary weapons, as most operators do. She has the P10 Aruni as her primary submachine gun, coming in at 26 damage on 980 rounds per minute, with also 19 bullets in the magazine. So you may think this is a low damage gun. It obviously is a low damage gun, there's definitely no denying that. It's a submachine gun. Most of the submachine guns are a lot more low damage than your other weapons that you can find in other operators' arsenals, but the fire rate is what makes up for the low damage in SMGs. As you can see, it has a 980 fire rate, so this is incredibly high. Anything close to 1000 is an incredibly high fire rate, and the fact that it has this level of fire rate, along with the minimal recoil that this gun possesses, it is incredibly powerful, and it is definitely one of the best weapons you can get on the defensive side. I'd say most people will probably agree. The P10 Roni, as I just said, it's got the low damage, obviously, it's got the high fire rate, but the fact that it has essentially 0 recoil just completely makes up for literally every downfall to it, because in a game where one headshot is supposed to kill you, well, it depends if it registers or not, but if one headshot can kill you and you have a gun that has no recoil, I'd say any gun with no recoil, no matter what its damage or fire rate is probably going to be one of the best weapons you can get in the game. And I 100% can assure you that even if you do find a little bit of recoil, with basically minimal practice, you'll find this weapon pretty easy to use. And if I do potato on some of the clips in the background, that's because I'm just a junkie and I don't know how to hit shots. But in all honesty, when using this weapon, if you were to just shoot it at a wall, you'll find that this submachine gun essentially has pretty basic recoil control, and you can get the hang of it very simply. And this is why this weapon is so good and why I would recommend it when you play Aruni. Her alternative weapon is the Mark 14 EBR marksman rifle. Now, I may be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure this is the first marksman rifle to be added on defense. From what I'm thinking of in my head right now, this is the only marksman rifle I can imagine that is in the game right now. So yes, the only marksman rifle in the game, 60 damage on a trigger finger fire rate with 20 bullets in the magazine. This weapon was introduced with Dokkaebai back in Operation Blood Orchid, which was actually a lifetime ago when you think about it, nearly 3 years, I think, 2 years, I don't know. But this weapon was introduced then, and no one liked it. Obviously, it's a marksman rifle, but introducing a marksman rifle on defense, I feel like, has capabilities that you just don't get on attack, because the capabilities it has is just the hard-hitting weapon that you can bring with range, obviously, which we haven't seen before on the defensive side. It is incredibly powerful when you think about it, and if utilized well, like the range and power that you can bring in a marksman rifle with the ability to run around and roam and anchor and stuff like that, is definitely something that probably should be feared when you're attacking when you go against an Aruni. Obviously, I feel like it really just depends on the player, whether they bring the Roni or the Mark 14. The Mark 14 probably does take a lot more skill because it's a marksman rifle. You need to make sure you're hitting those shots. You can't just spray and pray unless you've got the trigger finger of full auto guy from that airsoft clip. But if you have the skill set to bring this weapon, it is 100% one of the best weapons you could probably bring on the defensive side in terms of pure power. Obviously, it's a marksman rifle. They're not easy to use. Not everyone likes them. That's fair enough. But 60 damage, trigger finger fire rate, 20 bullets. All around, this weapon is great to use, and I really don't know which weapon I'd recommend the P10 Roni, just because it's a much more easier, simplistic, all-around weapon. But if you can get the nail and hang of the Mark 14 EBR, go ahead. Her only secondary she has access to is the PRB92, which comes at a 42 damage on a trigger finger fire rate. That's a solid pistol. I don't really have anything to comment on it. 15 bullets in the magazine. Absolutely nothing wrong with this. I believe this is the pistol that got introduced. It has a shifting tides thing on it. I'm not sure where this got introduced. It looks like it came from the Ace and Carly, I can't think of their weapons. The Ace and Carly DLC. I don't know what to say, but yeah, the Ace and Carly DLC, but I'm probably wrong. I think it's just the skin I have on. I'm not sure. But anyway, that said, gadget, she has access to barbed wire, bulletproof camera. Either of these are useful. I personally usually bring the barbed wire. I don't think bulletproofs are really that essential, but if you do have somewhere that needs to be watched, bulletproofs, that's probably where your bulletproof will come in handy. But they're just so easily destroyed, I just don't really think there's a point when you can bring alternatives such as Valkyrie, Maestro, etc. So I'd say bring the barbed wire. And with that said, that wraps up the rep review. Let's get into the gadget utilization. So Aruni has access to the Surya gate, as she calls it. I think I said that right. Surya or Surya, it's one of those. A laser generating device that sets on walls or entry points that deactivates after damaging gadgets or opponents and is reactivatable. So basically, in a brief explanation, that's what it is. That's what the Siege game gives. But in a more in-depth explanation, this is an attachable thing that you can, as they said, you can put on walls. You can put on soft walls. Obviously, you can't put them on some random wall on the map. You can put them on breachable walls, and you can put them on doorways. So doorways, windows, stuff like that, anything with a barricade on it. So you can put them on either of these, and as it said, once you put this down, it is there. It is basically a counter to anything that gets thrown or walks through it, and until something does get thrown or walks through it, and then it deactivates for a period of time, and then it turns back on after that period of time. I do not believe it is destructible. I don't think there's any way to destroy it. I've tried shooting it many times when I first got the game. When I first got the DLC, and it just did not work. So I believe it is indestructible, and the way you can reactivate it, you have to shoot it after its 30-second cooldown. So after this 30-second cooldown, you just shoot it again. You do not have to pick it up. This is a mistake I made in my old video, and I got roasted for it. But you shoot it after this 30-second cooldown. That's what the comment I just read. I honestly didn't know. But after that, your gadget will be up and running again, and then it is able to either take a operator running through it. It can take any throwable device, including drones, flashbangs, etc. And I think that's about it. So any throwable like frag, flash. Stuns aren't in this game. What's another grenade? I don't think there is one, but I'm just forgetting things, but if all of these throwable objects like nomad charges, etc., all of this stuff you throw through will get just completely destroyed, I'm pretty sure, and then the gate will go down, and then after 30-second recharge it'll be available again. So you'll find that most people utilize this as just a entry denial. Obviously you can't run through it without something putting something through it. It's either you're going to have to sacrifice your body or one of your gadgets / throwables. So either way, this can be used as a great entry denial device. I'd say that's probably the main thing that it's utilized for. As she is essentially a mix of Kapkan and Jaeger, if you utilize this as a Kapkan trap, but also as a Jaeger trap, that's probably the best way you can get efficiency out of this. Put them on doors that you think people are going to push, and you definitely don't want to get stuff like stuns thrown from. Obviously, it can only take one, and then it's absolutely useless for obviously 30 seconds. That's a long time in Siege. That's like 1/6 of the round. You don't want that. So obviously bring backup stuff like Jaegers for if you do want to counter throwables from specific points. But if you just want it to be a good distraction and something that'll stop someone from pushing in stealthily, and they'll have to make noise to get rid of it, then this is probably the greatest way to utilize it, as it can gather intel. Obviously you can also put them on walls, so you can put them on common breach points, such as maybe the armory lockers wall on border, stuff like that. All of these tips can just revolve around the one thing, and you can probably get them nailed down pretty easily. But the best tip I could probably give you around this Surya gate is probably just to put it anywhere where you think you don't want someone just sneaking in, because obviously they're going to have to make noise to get through this Aruni gate, such as Kapkans as well, but it also just brings that utilization that it will waste a gadget throwable if they don't want to sacrifice, I believe it's 50 health out of their bar. But with that said, let's get into the operator strategies to wrap this video up. So in the operator strategies, I obviously give you whether you should roam or anchor with these operators, and she is a 2-speed 2 armor, and I honestly believe she is a flexible operator on the defensive side. She can either be an anchor or a roamer. She has access to the weapon loadout to anchor or roam. She also has access to the gadget that allows her to anchor or roam. Once you put your gadget down, you've already fulfilled your type of role in the team, and you can essentially go and mess around and do the roaming. It seems how your gadget is done. This is frequent with other operators such as Bandit, Jaeger, Jaeger, and then people with passive abilities like Vigil, but they don't matter. People that can put their gadgets down within the prep phase and then have the accessibility to roam is who I'm referring to with Aruni, and she definitely has that. She has an ability that is easily done within 20 seconds if you know where you're putting all your stuff with experience, and then you essentially have the round to yourself, so you can go ahead and roam, or you can choose to anchor. It's really 50-50 depending on what you want to do. I'd suggest if you're anchoring, honestly, I'd bring the high power weapon, the Mark 14 EBR, and if you're roaming, I'd bring the P10 Roni for that reaction time stuff that you might need when you encounter weird situations on the roam. And either way, I think you guys could officially do it, and I definitely would recommend either one. But anchoring would probably just be using your power to just swing stuff, try and deal damage, slow the enemy down, obviously, excuse me. And then with your roaming, I'd say just roam absolutely the same as you would with any other operator. Obviously, you're not a 3-speed, so you don't have the quickness that some other people will have, but you still have a great weapon that can be utilized, and just all around a great operator to fulfill both roles. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, drop a sub with the notification bell if you're interested in more videos, guides, etc. from me. I make videos every day here, including 2 videos a day on every weekday, including COD videos at the current moment. And if you did also enjoy and are interested in taking the next step, I stream over on Twitch quite often. If you're interested in checking those out, I will be streaming there quite often. I mean, I'm on holidays at the moment, so I'm not doing anything, so I'll just be streaming. But with that said, I'm not going to take up any more of your time. If you did enjoy, I hope you did. Leave a like if you did, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.